Video is about a feature that existed since Plikli and continued in Plikli. Uh, However, it wasn't really user-friendly and it needed uh, manual editing for a core file in an editor to make it work. So it has two steps. The first one is in the dashboard under Settings Miscellaneous. You have Enable Extra Fields. By default, it's false, so to set it on, you set it to true. That's the first step. The second step involved opening the file. You see, I'm working in 352 here, Plikli version 352. So it involved opening the file in an editor and then editing each field that you want to use and change it from the default false. I set the field 1 to true. I gave it a title and an instruction about the field for the user submitting an article to know what is it about. Now, these other settings, I will talk about them when I demonstrate the Plikli process. So once you set this, the second step, you are ready now to, when you go and submit, let's go to submit. You will see that the field that we just edited to use is already there now. So that's the title of the field, the instructions, and the field itself. Now let's move to the new CMS Plikli and show you how it is made easier and more user-friendly and more professional. So again, I'm using Plikli version 4.0. And we go to the dashboard, settings, miscellaneous, and then enable extra fields. We set it to true and save. And we don't need to open any file in an editor, outside editor. We do it from within the dashboard because I added a new feature called Extra Fields Editor. So we click on it. And you see, it takes all the fields that are in the file and then put them for you in an HTML editable format. So let's start with changing this to true. And then here, author, and for the instructions, enter author name. What is the field searchable? Meaning, if you want to include this field in the search, you put it to true. If not, you leave it as well. Required, meaning you are instructing the user that this field is required. If they don't fill it and they press the submit button, they get a notice that this field must be filled. I will show you this later, but let's now save the changes that we've done. Save. Again, you see, it's easier because it's within. You don't need to go to Internet, to the Windows Explorer, opening the file, and then opening the file again in an editor to edit all this. So now you see it's not there. If we refresh, we should see it. And here it is. So we see it in here. Now I prepared a submitted article just to show you. You see how it looks here. So now let's discuss the other two requirements here. If you want it searchable, you set it to true. Now let's go. We have John Doe, right? So if we, because it's false, if we look for John Doe, for instance, the result is going to be empty. Let's go back and then let's set it to true and save again. So it found the one article that has John Doe in it. Now the required, if we set it to false, meaning you can leave it empty and it will be submitted, or if you are editing the file, it allows you to leave it empty as well. But if you put it to true, then you cannot bypass it. Let's edit the file, and it's the same when you are resubmitting an article. So it is set to true, that is required. Now notice what's going to happen if I save the changes. Please fill out this field. It won't let you proceed, so I have to, and then save the changes. It takes it. Now in the Plikli upgrade system that I created up to the last 3.52 version, I made it smart to detect certain settings and modules and features if they are set to true and allowed and whatnot, and issue warnings accordingly. However, in Plikli, I made it even smarter. So for instance, I'm gonna give you some example here, and just to show you the process of the upgrade system and why do we need to okay. So the Plikli upgrade process detects and provides a list and a guide of the extra steps an admin has to do after the upgrade is done. Namely, these are the warnings that will be issued. So I'm going to discuss now, because all of it we will see it in the video discussing the upgrade process in Plikli. So our case is the enable extra fields. It detects if it is set to true, then we have two scenarios. It checks if the one or more of the 15 extra fields columns in the links table are empty. Then it issues a notice. We detected that enable extra fields is set to true, but extra fields in links table are not used. No action is required. Should you decide to use the extra fields, you must edit the extra fields PHP using the extra fields editor in the dashboard. The second scenario, enable extra field is set to true, and if the 15, one or more of the 15 extra fields column in the links table are not empty, meaning they are used, then it issues a notice. We detected that enable extra fields is set to true and extra fields in links table are used. You must copy the extra fields PHP in the libs folder from your old CMS and paste it in the Plikli libs folder. And why is that? I will tell you, to make it easier for you, because I'm going to restore this to the default, and we'll show you the process. And save. Okay, so we restored the default of the file. None of the extra field is used in Plikli. However, when you upgrade it from, let's say, Clicky 3.52 to Plikli 4.0, we detected that you are using the extra fields. So how to make it work in the new Plikli? The easiest way is to copy the file, because we have it edited here, right? So we set it to true. And here we restored it. It's all false, right? So in Plikli. So let's go to here, the Clicky 3.52, and then in the libs folder, copy this file and paste it in the Plikli where you've done the upgrade from Clicky 3.52. Paste and replace the existing file, which had none of the fields edited to use. So you see, sorry about this, but sometimes the cache is really a pain. So it took the new settings from the old extra fields PHP file that you were using in Clicky, the same. So you didn't have to go and then manually edit the extra fields PHP file in the extra fields editor again. You just needed to copy, and you got the warning about it from the upgrade system.